What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotta Get Back, the Samurai Jacket review show. My name is Kyle, your host. Welcome to Project Potter, guys. If you haven't been here before, go check out the other content on the channel, of course. But this show is a Samurai Jacket review, and we made it to episode 50, guys. So almost done with season 4 here. But if you haven't seen the show before, it's a recap of the episode. It is a favorite character, a favorite scene, a score out of 10, and some trivia at the end, if there is any trivia. And with that being said, guys, we're going to kick it off right here with the recap. This one is very different than the other episodes, and I was into it from the get-go. So this is heavily based on like any classic noir. Obviously, that Gendy did. This is also, as we'll find out in Jack Facts later for a spoiler, guys, very similar to John Wick's premise that was later made. So this is awesome because it also the animation looks different. Like this looks like an anime. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, did they draw this episode differently? But it's pouring rain here. We get a shot in on our guy over here, X-49, which is funny because this is the 50th episode, so I'm sure there's some sort of connection there. But it's like this like really rainy scene, and he puts in like a CD, like an old-fashioned CD. For those of you who don't know, these are like these round disc things that you can put into your car to play. Back before like Spotify and all that happened. So this techno trumpet starts playing, and it's really like classic noir, like sad blues. And he's like, rain. He's like, I hate the rain. And he's like, it makes me sentimental. And he's like, I know what you're thinking. What's this robot doing with emotions? And then he tells us a story about how he was created with emotions because the scientists thought it would be kind of funny. But he's like, this story starts back with Aku's rise to power. He's like, when Aku rose to power, he needed a robot army, and he's like, the first prototypes were not working, and it shows us like these different like crappy robots that are just like too friendly and not powerful enough. And he's like, eventually they created like his model basically. So there were probably, I think, 48 other models or something that might have to do with his name. But he's like, one of the scientists thought it would be funny to give emotions to me to kind of do like a social experiment. So basically it's like these hitman the robots basically where they go out and they just like start assassinating people and taking over. And it's really cool because there's like a bunch of them lined up in the suit, the top hat, and they've got these guns, and they're all like highly trained, and no one's really challenging them, and everything's blowing up. And it's really, really, really cool looking. It's like this fuzzy sort of like dark red tone, sort of with like kind of grayed out. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, it looks awesome. But basically, eventually he finds this little dog, Lulu, on one of the sets. And it's really crazy because there's like fire burning in the background, and this cute little dog that's like super happy to see him, and his eyes light up with hearts. And so he takes Lulu home, and he's all good. But he's like, then Aku had a problem one day where, everything was good. He was chilling at home with Lulu, and life was great. And there's like a time passage where it shows like all these flying cars going through. And X-49 is just sitting there playing the trumpet in like a white tank. I don't know why he's wearing human clothes, but that's fine. And then Aku has a problem where he has a Samurai Jack problem, and he's like, he couldn't get rid of Samurai Jack, so he called me up, and he's like, I refused to work with him. And he's like, one day he took Lulu, and so he's like, sweet Lulu. He took his dog, which again is just like John Wick. And so he's like, I had to come out of retirement. There's really cool like strobe scene where he goes into his closet, and he's got the top hat, and he's got the jacket on. He takes out his briefcase, which is his 2 guns there. And so he's driving there, and he sees all the destroyed Aku beetles as he's walking by. And this is where we get back to present day. He's like, this is where the story is caught up, where he's like, I hate the rain. And then it's like, here we are back at like an old robot warehouse. Like, how ironic. He looks in there, and it's like an open door, and that's where Jack is supposed to be. And he's just like, got a picture of Lulu like taped to his dashboard, and he like slowly runs over, and the techno trumpet's playing. It's really beautiful, like atmospherically. It's a great tone. He's like, yeah, I hate the rain. And he's like, as soon as the rain lets up, I'll go in there. And he goes in there, and it's great because he's kind of looking around, and he doesn't see Jack, but he's slowly walking through, and you can hear like his robot like legs going through each time, and we get like this awesome overhead shot, like the different machines, and a couple machines come to life, and he shoots them pretty easily, but they're just like cranes. There's a great shot where he walks by, and it's like he like turns, and like there's a reflection with him and the guns, and it's just like a reflection there. It's not even an enemy or anything. He sees Jack on the shadow, though, in a wall, and he's like about to eat the chicken, and he steps on something, and it scares Jack, and he runs away. So then the rest of the episode, he's chasing Jack through like the different corridors there, but Jack is always a step ahead, and he's hiding in the shadows. There's one really awesome shot where he's walking right by, and like the sparks are coming down, and we see Jack in the foreground, just like the outline of Jack. And he's walking by, and he's got the guns, like the Office gif there where they're doing the shootout. And the sparks are coming down. It's really, really cool. And I was waiting for something to happen with the sparks. But Jack runs around again. He chases him a little bit longer. He shoots one of the pipes, and so like there's like gas coming up. So it's kind of hard to see. Jack uses this as cover. He sets up a decoy where he uses like an old robot head or whatever to set up as like a shadow. And then this is when X-49, he's like sweating. So I don't know if this was just like the moisture that was causing that to happen, or we're presuming this is like he was nervous to die because he's got feelings. But yeah, he shoots what he thinks is Jack. He goes over, and it turns out it's one of the old models there. He looks down, and then we see Jack come up behind him, like an awesome like silhouette, and just sword right through like the chest there. And he falls over, and he's like, "Take care of Lulu for me." And his eyes go down. And it's really like bittersweet and sad. And Jack looks back, and he's like determined. And then he's like, "Oh," like Jack's like, "Damn, maybe I shouldn't have killed that robot." And then we get a slow pan in back on Lulu's photo. And that's how the episode ends. And I'm like, did you get Lulu? Like, Jack, did you go take care of the dog? Like, where are the important questions that need to be answered here? So, but nonetheless, guys, that is how the episode 50 comes to a conclusion. Okay, guys, the magic sword for this one, it's X-49. I mean, he's so cool. His the voice there is great. It's like robotic, but it's human, and it's so classic noir, and like his motivations and the setting, and it's all awesome. Like, it's really, really cool. The fact that he was just like, yeah, it was a robot built to destroy, but he's like, then scientists wanted to like be funny and give me emotions, and it's like it ended up being great because then he ran into Lulu, but that's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because he finds out that, you know, his life is obsessed over Lulu. And normally if he didn't have emotions, Aku would say, "Hey, come work for me," or he would either just say no because he's not programmed to work for him, or but in this case he's like, "Oh, because he has my dog, I need to take down Samurai Jack," and ends up costing him his life. So yeah, he's just awesome. His design, his voice, everything he does, his actions, like he's skilled with the pistols too, like highly trained. So he's awesome, and he gets my magic sword pretty easily this week. So Portal on Time, guys. Honestly, there's like one shot where X-49 goes up in the factory, and he like walks up, and it's like just his silhouette, and it's like this, he's moving, but the shot is also moving. I don't know how to describe it, but it's really, really cool because it felt like a different cartoon. It felt like a different like anime or something. So the way that they kind of mess with the styles and everything was awesome. And that one particular shot where it's like just his silhouette and he's like kind of going up, and it's like moving slightly. I thought that was awesome. So that's my Portal in Time for this week. Okay, guys, for a score for this one, I love this episode from start to finish. I love the tone. I love the style. I love the action scenes. There's almost no dialogue. There's no dialogue from Jack once again in this one, which is what we've been seeing a lot in season 4, which is cool. But we got a lot from X-49, and just like the fact that he loves his dog so much, and that we kept saying that, like, sweet Lulu, so nice. And then for them to finally pan in on that picture at the end there and leave us at the cliffhanger. But I really, really like this episode. I'm going to give this a 9.5. I just think it's aesthetically different than like almost any of the other episodes of Samurai Jack. It's also why I like the Haunted House one so much. And I don't mean to bring that up every episode, but it's so good. And this one reminded me of that, where it's like, this is way different. It feels a lot different than the other Samurai Jack episodes. So yeah, I just loved it from start to finish, from the look and the feel and the action and everything, and the story and the motivations, and it was just fantastic. So I think one of Samurai Jack's better episodes for sure. Okay, guys, so Jack Facts for this week, for episode 50. We have here, this is the only episode of the entire series to feature exactly one speaking part. And so that confused me for a little bit when I read that, but I think what it's saying is that X-49 is the only time where one character speaks through the whole one, because obviously he has different lines in Sweet Lulu. We hear him like explain everything, but we don't hear Aku speak. We don't hear their scientists speak. We don't hear Jack speak. So I think what that is saying is that this is the only episode of the entire series where one character talks. When there is dialogue, one character talks throughout the whole episode. So that's really cool. Each of Aku's evil scientists look like doctors from history, other shows, and video games. So breaking it down here, guys, we have one who looks like Eggman from Sonic the Hedgehog. We have one wearing a mask that looks like Dr. Wily from the Mega Man series, which is crazy. We have one who looks like the one who gave X-49 the emotion, looks like Dr. Forrester from Mystery Science Theater. I'm not familiar with that, but do with that what you may. And then one of the scientists actually looks like Hitler, although he's a little more obese, so a little dark tone there, but kind of fits the episode. Genndy was nominated for the 2005 Annie Award for directing in an animated television production for this episode, so another award-winning. It says he was nominated. I don't know if he won, but I mean, that's all you need to know, really. The nomination is almost as important as winning, so just speaks to his style. And then I mentioned it, episodes styled heavily on noir films, common noir themes that were present in the series would be a rainy city, a hero with a dark past, and even a bittersweet ending. And then much of the jazz music here is actually inspired from Cowboy Bebop, which is like, I know, one of the most famous animes. And I've started Cowboy Bebop a couple of times. I can't get into it, but I'll probably give it like a fresh, open-minded look at some point soon. Just because I know so many people like it, I feel like I got to give it another try because I feel like I'm missing something. So this is the last appearance of Aku for season 4. So we mentioned it was the last speaking appearance, last episode for the original Aku voice actor, Iwamatsu. This is the last appearance of Aku on screen for season 4. So with 2 episodes to go, that's pretty interesting. Kind of a spoiler, I guess we won't see Aku the rest of the season, but just a nice little fact there. And then, of course, the last one here I mentioned, this is similar to a later made film, John Wick, where the hitman who comes out of retirement for his dog. John Wick is amazing. Go watch Wick Watch, guys. I did review those first 3 John Wick movies, so those are on the channel as well. Go check those out. I love those movies. So, yeah, really, really cool to see, and just an awesome episode overall. But those are our Jack Facts for this week. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That is 50 episodes down. So we have 2 more episodes left in season 4, and then we are on to the final season. I cannot wait. Really, really enjoyed this episode. The later season style really shows here. And this was just a blast from start to finish. But go check out the other content on the channel, guys. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for checking out Project Potter. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell notification. And until next time, guys, got to get back.